Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for Walker. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in info box. I'll get to as soon as I possibly can. So thank you for that. Now this is for the film This Means War from 2012, which I had heard of, never bothered to see it. It stars Tom Hardy. You got Chris Pine, who was in the 2009 Star Trek film as Kirk. You got Reese Witherspoon. Angela Bassett has a bit role in the film. Till Schreider, who's been in a few stuff here and there. He's in the film as your villain. It's directed by Mick G. McCheeseburger with G's, who did Charlie's Angels 1 and 2, among other films. Mick G is kind of the... I guess, for lack of a better description, the lesser Michael Bay. Like, he wants to be Michael Bay so much, but he's not there. I mean, I didn't mind the Charlie's Angels films for what they were. I thought they were better than that reboot movie. The Babysitter, the first one, I didn't mind. The second one I thought was unneeded, but the first one I didn't mind. This one, at the end of the day, it was serviceable, but I don't think I would ever see myself watch it again. Because the gist of it is Tom Hardy and Chris Pine are spies, and they're also best friends. They're at a mission in Hong Kong. Things go awry. There's a bit of a shootout. Till Schreider is doing this deal. During this whole shootout, he parachutes off the building, but he sees that his brother gets killed. He vows revenge on the two spies. Meanwhile, because the mission was so screwed up, Angela Bassett, from What's Love Got to Do with It, from plenty of other films, she puts the two on desk duty. While that's happening, Tom Hardy, he's more, I guess, the nicer guy. He has an ex and a kid, and he doesn't really have much of a relationship with his son. Meanwhile, Chris Pine is more of the bachelor, bad boy type of guy. Which is weird, because it seemed like the role should be reversed. But okay. And honestly, I don't think Tom Hardy or Chris Pine did a bad job. And I've been critical of Tom Hardy and other stuff, but he does his film Locke. I liked him in that. In this, I actually think he, performance-wise, does a pretty good job. The way the character's written, I mean, the script isn't, that in a bag of chips, but I don't think the acting is the problem. I know he has a new film with the guy who directed The Raid Redemption, Havoc. I don't know much about it, but I mean, if it's the guy who directed The Raid, I'm curious. But yeah, the acting, I didn't really have a problem in this. So Tom Hardy, one thing leads to another, and he gets on this dating site and has dinner with Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon is this lady that her company, they test products, among other stuff. It's funny that the thing that intrigued me the most was there's a bit where after that, Reese Witherspoon is on an escalator, and on the escalator she descends into a DVD rental store. And I guess I just never saw a DVD rental store where you're at an escalator and the escalator goes into the DVD store. I'm sitting there going, how the hell does that work? Because couldn't someone like grab the DVD and just take the escalator and go back up, or maybe they gotta go up. I mean, it wasn't like the escalator, it stops, then you enter the store. It literally goes into, like, the escalator goes down and you're in the middle of these racks of DVDs and stuff. And I'm like, I've never seen that structure before. I've never seen that before. Is that a city thing? Well, nowadays they don't do, DVD rental places, but in 2012, was that a thing in the city? Like, you just escalate right in the middle of a DVD rental store. I don't know why that I'm so honed in on that, but I'm like, ooh, DVD rental store. I used to work in one. So, but just the way that just I'd never seen that before. Chris Pine meets her there. He starts having the hots for her. So you have these two spies, and they find out they have the hots for the same woman. And the woman, she's going out with both guys because she doesn't know who she's going to choose. And eventually, as the title suggests, Tom Hardy and Chris Pine start going head to head with each other, trying to win over Reese Witherspoon. And there's some moments during that I thought was kind of fun. Granted, I wouldn't say it was a sitcom level, but I mean, there were moments that did make me smirk. Whether it be, well, I mean, this didn't make me smirk, but didn't. Tom Hardy and Reese, they are hanging out at a circus and they pretend to be like trapeze artists. And then Chris Pine's trying to go out with her. But they start trying to bud her apartment. And so they're both budding her apartment at the same time. While Reese is singing, "This is how we do it." And Chris Pine will be showing paintings to Reese Witherspoon, and he has an earpiece where people will feed him information about these paintings. But then Tom Hardy gets into it and he starts giving false information. And then he starts saying the wrong things, like, "Oh yeah, when he would paint these, he would use a stick." What? And you tell Chris Pine's confused as he's hearing this information, but Tom Hardy's saying this to fuck with him. And then he says, "Yeah, and when he wouldn't use a stick, he used his dick." And Chris Pine almost says it and then stops himself. I thought that was kind of funny. I think it's more Tom Hardy's delivery. When he wouldn't use his stick, he used his dick. Or they overhear, so they hear that, oh, Tom Hardy's character, at times he's a bit too nice and safe. Some Tom Hardy decides to change that, so he takes her out for paintballing. And then he can't help it. He shows his skills as a spy, taking care of people in paintballs, throwing a paintball grenade, and you see this big splurt of paint splash out of this like cubicle. And someone's like, "Hey, it's just a game, just a game." Yeah. I thought that was kind of funny. And they start sabotaging each other. You even have the song "Sabotage" play by the Beastie Boys. So like when Tom Hardy's with Reese Witherspoon, Chris Pine makes it so the sprinklers go off. When Chris Pine's with Reese Witherspoon, Chris gets a dart in his neck and turns, and it's Tom Hardy. So when Reese comes back, Chris Pine is knocked out. But I don't know if this really needed a full film. This seems like it could have been maybe a fun bit on a sketch comedy show or something. I don't know if this needed a full film. Because I thought it took a bit for it to get going. Like the opening action scene, I don't think was that well done. Because the opening action scene, I thought the way it was edited, it was very herky-jerky with the editing. And like someone's in the middle trying to do an action bit, but then the credits are in the way. And then trying to do something, then this stops slow-mo, and then credits are in the way. So I don't think the beginning action scene was that fun to watch. And then you don't really get another action scene until the end of the film. Because Till Schreider, other than one or two scenes, he doesn't pop up till the end of the film. So the movie completely forgets about him. And then at the end, oh, by the way, remember Till Schreider? He wants to kill them. The two of them go with Reese. She now knows what who they are, and you have this car chase. And the car chase isn't bad. It's not a bad car chase. It's decent. She knows about, through her testing company, how this car works, so she goes shoot the headlights. They shoot the headlights, the airbag pops up, does this big flip, and then trying to be like a wannabe Michael Bay, but just not quite up the stuff of Michael Bay. And I don't know, just one of those things where I do think the actors are game, but it's just something about the script. Either could have been, like, the action scenes, especially at the beginning, could have been a bit better directed, a bit tighter in its editing. Reese Witherspoon, I'm not going to say she looks ugly, but the fact that she's so much of the center of attention, it seemed like you need more of a bombshell of a lady to have this much attention from both of these guys. Like, it was way back in the day, Marilyn Monroe. Like, that type of bombshell. And I just don't consider Reese Witherspoon in that category. Again, I'm not going to say she's ugly, because I don't think she's ugly, but just to be that much of a prize, I don't know. And to be honest, I thought she had better chemistry with Tom Hardy than with Chris Pine. So, spoiler, when you find out that Chris Pine actually wins her affections at the end of the day, and they have sex and stuff, I'm kind of sitting there going, yeah, but it seems better if you would go with Tom Hardy. Because again, Chris Pine, I don't think he's not bad in the film. I just don't think him and her had the best chemistry. It seemed like her and Tom Hardy had better in sync with each other. But I guess they went ahead with, well, Chris will go with her, and then his ex, Tom Hardy's ex, will want to get back with him. It kind of goes with the whole nice guys finish last thing, too, because Tom Hardy's supposed to be more the nicer guy. So Reese Witherspoon goes more with the bad boy. And then the ex and his son only take an interest in him because they find out he's not this, what was it, driver, real estate, something like that. They see on the news that, oh my god, he did this action sequence and maybe he's a spy or something. So it's only then when, oh, he's kind of a badass. Now they're interested in him. Now he's got a little bit more of that bad boy quality. So it seems like unless you're a bad boy, women won't give a shit about you. So it really does seem like nice guys finish last in this. But again, I would be lying if I said I hated the film. I didn't hate the film. There was some stuff in the middle when they're going to battle with each other, like Tom Hardy turns and shoots the drone that's following them and spying on them. Granted, there are some dodgy CGI. Like when the car, some little moments when the car's flipping towards the characters after they shoot the headlights, or the spy drone, the explosion at the time Hardy shoots it. CGI's not the best. I'm sure some people would call this misogynistic and all this other stuff. Whatever. It's a movie. Calm down. But this is not a film I would watch again. Like, it's a film that I'm watching, I'm going, okay. The editing, I think, could have been better. Like, the beginning, I'm not sure on. There definitely seems much more of a manufactured product than a film with, a bit of heart and soul. But I think because the actors, they seem game enough that it makes it at least a serviceable time waster. With his issues, plenty of issues, don't get me wrong. Like I say, if you're expecting an action film, other than the beginning and ending, there's not a whole lot of action. And I don't know if you needed Till Schreider's character in this at the end of the day. But, they wanted to have an action scene at the end. I get that. But it seems like the finale should be between these two guys, and that's kind of the crux of where the story is shaping up to, and where this journey is following us and taking us. And now we gotta stop everything because we gotta fight this guy Till Schreider that we forgot about since the first chunk of the movie. I guess it depends how you feel about these actors. Reese Witherspoon, I could take her or leave her. I think she does fine in this. Then Tom Hardy and Chris Pine. I mean, like I said, there are films of theirs like Inception and Locke. I mentioned with Tom Hardy. Chris Pine, I liked him in Unstoppable. Wonder Woman, he wasn't the problem in that. I don't like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films. But again, Chris Pine was good in Unstoppable with Denzel Washington. Again, I think they do fine enough here. But yeah, I don't see this being... At least I just don't see this being anything I would rewatch again. If that makes sense. But it's a one-time deal. Angela Bassett as the boss. Anybody who played her role, she's just bossy and bitchy. That's pretty much it. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else I recognize. Oh, okay, there's a bit where Chris Pine shows Reese his family, and she learns a bit about what happened to his parents and stuff. She learns a little bit more about his history. It makes her feel sorry for him. And eventually they have sex. So Tom Hardy, he doesn't really want to show her his ex. So he hires a fake family. And I know like two of them, like the one who pretends to be his sister was Rebel Wilson, I think. I think that was her, or I forget their damn names. I think the other guy was the guy who was the captain and stays on a plane. He was one of the anchors on Anchorman. I think that's who they were. I'm bad with names and stuff. That was kind of funny. But yeah, it's a pretty big warning flag when you hire a fake family. I mean, he does try to apologize, and then they go see his actual son, and they play around, but I'm not really surprised he just no nookie from her. So, like I said, some decent action at the end during the car chase. I probably will put this above that Halle Berry, Mark Wahlberg film I saw. That I already forgot what the fuck the name was. The Union or something? I forget what it was called now. I probably put this more above that one. But I know this film, when it came out, got completely smashed up by critics. Did not do well at the box office. I think what it is, like, I looked up the reviews and be like, this is the worst film of the year. And I'm like, okay, I don't think it's that great, but the worst film of the year? You know what? For sake of argument, sorry, this may take a minute. I'm going to look up the films of 2012. Because I do not remember all the films that came out in 2012. I want to see what films came out in 2012. I wish I had my computer on here because I could have just gone to that. Because, like I said, while it does have, I don't think it's the worst film of 2012. Or one of the worst films. I mean, it's not great. I don't call it underrated. I think Walker's a fan. And I mean, I can see why some would be a fan of it. I can see why. I think if you just watch the trailer, you'll get a gist of what kind of movie you're in for. And you also gotta remember some of the movies I watch, like Homoti, the gay Turkish ET movie. So maybe my judgment is a little bit twisted because of some of the films I see that are really, really bad. But let's look at 2012 films, okay? Okay, like Chernobyl Diaries. That's way worse than this movie. Okay, if I look at The Devil Inside was 2012. That's way worse than this movie. Contraband with Mark Wahlberg. I'd rather watch this than that movie. I'm just looking. Man on a Ledge. That's a very forgettable film. Sam Worthington. I'd rather watch this than that movie. Let's see. We got Ghostwire Spears of Vengeance. That's a disappointing one. We got John Carter. 1,000 Words with Eddie Murphy. I think those are worse than this. We got Savages. I think that was worse than this. The Dark Knight Rises. This is the better 2012 Tom Hardy movie, because The Dark Knight Rises sucks. Total Recall, the remake with all the fucking lens flares. Expendables 2 was disappointing. Cosmopolis. That was way worse than this. Cold Light of Day with Bruce Willis, Henry Cavill. That was worse than this. Resident Evil Retribution was worse than this. I mean, there's a lot of films better than this too. Dread, The Raid Redemption, among others. But I'm just sitting here saying, like, Taken 2. I'd rather watch this again than Taken 2. Sound Now Revelation, that's way worse than this. Twilight Break. You know what? I haven't seen the Twilight films, but I would goddamn guarantee they're worse than this movie. All of them. So again, it's not that I'm defending the film and thinking it's this great movie. It's a time waster. If I was ever made to watch this again, I'd be like, okay, you know. I just, for me, like, I know all these people, these misogynistic wimps. To me, it's harmless. At the end of the day, I think it's pretty harmless for what it is. For what it's trying to be. Yeah. I've seen much better, I've seen much worse. If that makes sense. Anyway, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.